You're just the wallet. You don't deserve the gifts, Richard, my dad said. After they secretly used my bank account to fund their Christmas and winter vacation, then don't expect a penny from me ever again, I replied, canceling every transaction and walking out. My name is Ethan. I'm 31, and for nearly 10 years, I've been known as the dependable one in my family. You know the kind, the single sibling with a steady career, the one who never forgets birthdays, shows up early to gatherings, and always pays when someone accidentally doesn't bring their wallet. I'm in finance. It's not exciting, but I've done okay. I own my apartment, drive a basic car, and manage my money carefully. But the rest of my family, let's just say they've mastered being a mess. My younger brother, Liam, 27, jumps between jobs like staying in one place might kill him. My older sister, Claire, 36, has a husband and 3 kids and is always posting online about hustling, even though I've never seen her keep a job longer than half a year. And my parents, especially Richard, still act like, if you're not married with children, your bank account is a shared family fund. Christmas has always made me uneasy. It's not that I dislike it. I really do enjoy the season. But each year, it turns into this strange situation where I'm expected to do more than anyone else. That usually means buying groceries, sneaking $50 into one of the kids' stockings when Claire forgets, or acting like I don't notice that Liam's homemade present still had a price tag. But this year went further than usual. Christmas morning was the usual mess. Kids ripping open presents like wild animals, Margaret, my mom said, reminding everyone to eat before opening gifts, and Richard, my dad said, sitting back with coffee in the recliner like a king. I sat quietly on the edge of the couch, sipping my tea and smiling at the loud room. At first, the gifts looked great. The kids got new iPads. Claire received expensive beauty products. Liam opened a name-brand wallet. And Margaret, my mom said, and Richard, my dad said, were gifted a deluxe espresso machine. Me? I got socks. No joke. 3 pairs and a card that said, "You keep this family together." Nobody even signed it. Around brunch is when things started to go wrong. We sat down. Scrambled eggs, waffles, and some pricey salmon that Margaret, my mom said, wouldn't stop bragging about. When my phone vibrated, I glanced down. A purchase from a fancy store. Then another charge from a trip service. Then a large payment, $4,975.88 from the same gift delivery company we supposedly use for all these presents. My stomach dropped. I opened my bank app. The charges were all recent, all under my account, my credit card, every single one. I froze, my hand stuck holding my fork. I stared at the screen, trying to make sense of it, hoping it was some kind of error. Then I looked up. Richard, my dad said, was already staring at me. "Oh," he said, totally relaxed like he'd planned this moment. "So, it worked." I blinked. What worked? He grabbed the butter dish, the presents. Liam and Claire didn't have enough money this year. And Margaret, my mom said, and I thought it'd be nice if everyone still got something special. And since you don't have a wife or kids, it made sense for you to pay a little extra. I didn't respond. I just looked at him. Claire kept feeding her toddler, eyes down. Liam was busy putting jam on his waffle, clearly listening, but pretending not to be. Richard, my dad said, looked at me again. "Ethan, come on. It's not like you're poor. You always talk about how great your investments are. Don't act like this is a problem." Margaret, my mom said, joined in all sweet and fake, cheerful. "And you don't have to buy for a spouse or children. You're actually saving money, sweetheart. This is what families do." I slowly nodded. "All right," I said. My voice stayed calm. I didn't yell. I didn't even lift an eyebrow. I just sipped my tea and said, "This is the last time," and that was good enough for them. Liam smirked and raised his drink. "To Ethan, the real MVP," he said in a joking tone. Claire laughed softly. Even the children clapped, not really knowing what the reason was. I stood up and left after the meal, saying I needed some time outside for fresh air. Nobody came after me. What none of them realized was that while I was walking, I was talking to my bank. I had a solid connection with the fraud team. One of the benefits of always keeping my finances clean. I explained everything step by step. The recent transactions I didn't allow. The fact that my card was used without permission, the full situation. I understood exactly how to push the right buttons, what to say to get their attention fast. In 1 hour, my card was locked. In 3, the biggest transactions were marked and scheduled to be cancelled. Later that evening, I got a new alert, a group chat message from the whole family. Claire had organized a winter vacation after Christmas. Plane tickets, lodging, ski equipment. Nothing was refundable, and all of it had been bought using the reward points from my credit card. Points that were now gone. Her message was filled with dramatic emojis and fake nice complaints like not blaming anyone, but this is really unfair. I ignored it. The following morning, I received a message from Margaret. My mom said, "Something's wrong with my card. It didn't work at the pharmacy. Can you figure out what happened?" I didn't reply because this wasn't over. This was just the beginning. I had spent years quietly accepting their selfishness, paying their bills, pretending their rude comments about my lifestyle didn't hurt. Listening to them guilt-trip me for not being married, not having kids, not acting like Liam or Claire. I kept quiet to avoid conflict, but this time wasn't a mistake. It was intentional. They had clearly decided I was their personal ATM. What they didn't see coming was that I was finished. I was about to shut the door for good. That night, I came home and sat down at my desk. The Christmas lights still blinked in the background. I hadn't taken them down yet. Torn wrapping paper still lay across the floor. A coffee mug with red lipstick on the rim sat nearby. Probably Claire's from when she visited last week to check on me, but left with my wireless headphone. I stared at that cup for a while. Then I opened my laptop. I didn't feel angry. Not like before. The old me might have cried, called a friend, or tried to explain everything to Margaret, my mom said, and Richard, my dad said, like some calm adult. But that version of me was gone. Now I had facts. I had control. And for the first time in a long while, I planned to use both. First, I opened a folder I hadn't touched in over a year, labeled Family Costs. I had recorded every money transfer, every short-term help, every single thing I paid for someone else. Not because I was obsessed, just because I like being organized, maybe too organized. I scrolled through the file. Birthday presents for the kids. Hotel bookings I made when Liam's car didn't work. The deposit I paid for Claire until her taxes arrived, and the emergency dental bill I covered for Richard, my dad said, who never even said thank you. Total amount $68,940.75 across 7 years. I paused, took a breath, and added the Christmas transactions at the end. Then I began writing. The first step, emails, short, formal, and slightly cold. To Claire, "Hi. Just letting you know the group trip charges were removed by my bank. Since it was under my account, they marked it as fraud. You should call the hotel directly to Liam. You'll have to return the watch. The payment didn't go through. I suggest doing it quickly to avoid extra fees." To Margaret, my mom said, and Richard, my dad said, "Going forward, I won't be paying for surprise costs anymore. Please update your payment details. Also, I've canceled shared access to my Netflix account." Then came the quiet steps. I signed into the Dropbox folder we all used for travel plans, family pictures, and shared expenses. I took myself out of the share drive, then erased the folder completely. I updated my PayPal password, stopped every automatic payment connected to Liam's random jobs, and shut down the Amazon family account I had been paying for. The one Margaret, my mom said, believed came with the internet package. I wasn't finished yet. The following day, I walked into the post office and sent certified letters to each family member. Yes, real paper letters. Inside each one, I had printed out a spreadsheet showing exactly how much money I had spent on them over time. Not to embarrass them, but simply to show the truth. I included a typed message that read, "This isn't about dollars. It's about personal limits. From now on, I won't be covering family costs, vacations, gifts, or last-minute emergencies unless we've agreed in writing beforehand. If you have any questions, please contact a financial professional." I've attached a full breakdown for your records. Wishing you a good new year, Ethan. As I sit here now, the family I once thought would always be my anchor has become a distant memory. And while it feels strange, I realize it's for the best. I took back control of my life, not just from them, but from a pattern I had been too afraid to break. It's not easy to choose yourself over the people you were taught to please. But what I've learned is that the only way to move forward is to let go of the baggage, even if it means closing doors forever. So to anyone out there who feels trapped in a similar situation, know this: your worth is not determined by how much you give, but by how much you value yourself. You don't have to sacrifice your peace for anyone else. Choose yourself.